Welcome everybody, my name is Jason and welcome to another episode of Pacific Business Funding, where we put the fun in funding. And we're here today with Joe Rael from Thru Joe. We're at one of his new locations, and when we first met Joe, it was about a year ago, and he had about $30,000 in monthly payments on his debts. And we helped him restructure a bunch of different things, restructure those loans. Now he's paying about $5,000 a month. He just opened up this new location a few months ago, and we're gonna go check it out.
This is our new location. It's a soft opening right now. We're just trying to identify the menu. Again, we've got a coffee shop background, but we're jumping into the more of a traditional style cafe. With your honey chicken waffles. We're working a lot with Boar's Head to do sandwiches, wraps, salads, really solid, but we're able to still carry over our coffee menu in. So we do coffee, Red Bull, and tea. We are the #1 seller of Red Bull in the state of Hawaii when it comes to on-premise drinking for Red Bull. So we do it 3 ways, and we play with them. Because we have all those syrups over there, we can do so many combinations, but it's cool. It's an alternative to coffee, but we still have the best coffee from Kailua Town Coffee Roasters that gets roasted every weekend, so it's still pretty solid. But yeah, so we're just developing this. We're almost there. We're just throwing on the wall with what's going to stick, and we're pretty much there. But Boar's Head been a huge part of that. So really, really cool. Now we can offer these sandwiches and distribute these to some of our other shops. So now we can have these sandwiches available at all our locations, which totally helps our transaction price. Right now it's not coffee, now it's coffee and breakfast sandwiches or whatever it might be. They're coming from Alaska, they're coming from Washington, San Diego, New York, everywhere all over the world. So they're coming from Starbucks, Dutch Bros, third wave coffee shops. So they're coming in, I'm like, oh, I hate that. Oh, I love that. Let's incorporate that. So
You're like the melting pot.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, this works for us. And every coffee shop's going to be different if you're focused on your customers, which is the most important thing, right? I think people get confused and lost because it's like, oh no, this is the way I like my coffee. This is the way I do it. I'm like, no one cares about that. They want their coffee their way.
That's right. Serve the client.
Exactly. So that tweaking, you have to have a huge menu. So we can have all these syrups, all the sauces, whatever it might be, but when it comes down to it, we still have the best coffee bean, right? So as long as it's brewed prepped and shots poured and milk frothed exactly the way we're supposed to be doing it, you can take away everything and just have that cup of coffee, and it's still going to be the best one you'll ever have because it really is the best beans. And so you'll see the setup. Obviously, we stick with all name brand signature stuff. We use Torani for everything. We use Red Bull for everything. This is basically just a basic setup. We're still trying to figure out. I don't have a lot of restaurant experience, but now it's just jump into it, just like coffee, just jumped into it. Now we're there. So it's cool, able to play with it. Now actually have a little bit more room. We've never had this much location before, but now that we've moved over, because we were just next door in a kind of small little spot, we came over here and we're like, we're never going to fill this up. And now it's just because the funding, and we were able to find out all the equipment and the stuff that we needed, we were able to expand. And now I feel like it's we're growing into our shell, and we're almost too big now. So it's cool. So we just started this in December. It's only April, May now. So 6 months, we're ready. And it's been good stuff. I'm not shy to talk about finances. I think that's just one thing that people do get embarrassed about. And honestly, it's part of running the business is the finances. Funding is one of the biggest things, and when you're going and you're starting your business and you're a small business and you're making mistakes, and then payroll's out, and then there's another tax or another tariff or another something goes up. You know what I'm saying? It happens. And as a small business, you might have to make some unfavorable decisions and then make another one and make another one. By the time you're looking at it, you're in a hole and you're like, oh no, what am I going to do? It happens, you know what I mean? It's totally natural, normal, business progression. Now you should tweak it don't make the same mistake twice, but to have someone on our team now that has that networking, the know-how, the savviness and keep everything legal. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing, right? Because I can only imagine how many small businesses jump in there and start hand jamming stuff to get money, especially when you're applying for the SBA loans that are prime rate, right? Those are the ones that you're looking for, but they don't hand those out.
Yeah, a lot of paperwork.
I was in that pit of MCA loans, and if you don't know an MCA loan, it's a merchant cash advance, which you can't find loans anywhere else. Your books aren't great, but you're using a POS system like Toast or Square, and they offer like, hey, we see how much you're making a day. No one else is offering you money. We'll offer you this money, but we're going to take X amount of percentage depending on how much you take from that location, and you're just like, oh, okay, I can take 8, 10, 20% from that location, but really, percentage-wise, how much are you making a day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you take more than you're doing, now, yeah, you need that money, but like now you're paying, paying this guy to pay that guy to do whatever, and you're gonna get caught in a cycle. So unfortunately, I was caught in that cycle, but it was just like, I had so much opportunity. I know that like my strategy and like my plan was working, and it's just like, wow, I just need a little more time. Like, just please, a little bit more time. And that's where you came in, where we finally got our books and lined up. We got like taxes are good, like we're chilling, and now it's just like it's a time thing. So that's when we met, and I met you through, I believe, the consulting. Hopefully, what I'm building right now, we have 7, 8 on the way stores, and I want to start offering this as a franchise opportunity for other veterans. You know what I mean? I did this from square one. I would never do that. Like, that was like the hardest thing I've ever done, and it was like a trial by error. I should have failed. I did fail 1,000 times, but like I just got back up and figured it out. And like, you know what? Yeah. Let's just figure this out. But I can see where people just throw up the white flag and just say I'm done. So, but the cool thing about this is I was able to make all those mistakes. I was able to trailblaze and do it in a petri dish here in Oahu on a military installation. So now I'd be super confident if someone comes up and says, hey, like that trailer we were talking about earlier, you can get this financed super easy through Pacific Funding. Let's go do it. You know what I mean? We should have to figure out the infrastructure of a kitchen behind it, but after that, we're like almost there. We're still developing stuff right here on Oahu, and we always will be, but there's no reason why we can't venture on the other military installations. Eventually I got into those MCAs, but I needed to go find money elsewhere that was not legitimate, like more a favorable rate, right? So, but I couldn't because my credit wasn't great, and you know how hard it is for business credit. They're looking for whatever. So you guys led me like, okay, we need to get this credit down, this utilization down thing. Like, I didn't have any late payments, so that was good, right? I just needed to bring credit cards down. You were able to find a loan for me, bring those utilization down so I can get under, it was 30%, right? Yeah. So we did 30% for everything. And then once I was able to do that, so that first round got rid of those ones, and then that was like, my credit score went up to like 815 or something. Like, never seen that. And then now I have property that I use my GI or my VA loan for. I was able to, obviously, that builds my credit even more, and I was able to get more loans. And now it's like I didn't use those money to pay off the MCAs, but I was able to float some until it was taken off, and no more MCA loans. And now I have this money, and then I was able to get credit cards that were 0 interest for a year or so, and I was able to like, all right, cool, like the storm settled. Yeah. Now we're good, and now we're in a shop, and we have a headquarters, and I finally have an office. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. Every year I look back, I'm like, oh man, like I can't believe we were there last year. That feels like a light year away. How many years have you guys been at this again? I've been at this since 2017. Now I was able to get favorable loans, two SBA loans. One.
We did a line of credit.
No, we did
a loan and the SBA Express.
With that one, it was able to give me a subprime rate, right? So like the prime rate at the time, it was either like 8 or 10%, which pretty good. Like that's like the best you'll ever get on the market. Yeah. And that's something that you should be able to work with, always in those single digits or super. I mean nowadays like super low. 10% when
that's reasonable.
The Fed, until interest rates drop, that's as good as it's going to get right now, and take what you can get. So that was that was kind of how that played out. And it took 4 to 6 months to do, but to do it right, you know what I mean, and not rush anything and not apply for anything too soon. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it could be one of the most detrimental, because some of the feedback that we've got from other clients is that they're constantly thinking of the next payday, because they're like, am I going to make it this time or not?
Right.
And so very short-term thinking, and they're in the weeds. They can't see opportunities that are ahead because they're too worried about next week or next month.
Well, you don't even know if there's going to be a next month.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And there's some times where it feels like something's sitting on your chest, and you're just like, we're not going to make it. And thankfully we've never been like that tight, but pretty damn close. I mean, if you're a small business, you've been there, and I always kind of think of it like a plan, are we getting up? Are we getting up? And you guys really were like the wind under our wings to kind of hit that last one and be like, all right, we're coasting for now. We're good until that big mountain comes up.
I'm inspired off of that, because I was just actually thinking about that for our business. There's a lot of challenges that we face because we work with so many different programs. Right. Most finance companies are working with just equipment or just SBA, and it's more cookie cutter. But we gotta train on 10 different things. Oh man,
and be well
so
versed,
hard.
because it's probably always changing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's situation is a little different,
month.
right?
Yep.
So if you are keyed in on those, and and you're just like, hey, well, we offer all these services. So if I'm going to you guys and you guys are offering all the services rather than just one, be like, oh, we don't do equipment. Okay, well, now I have to go find someone to do equipment. If you guys just take care of it, one-stop shop, why wouldn't I go to you? You're already trusted, you're already vetted, you know what I mean? You guys are great at what you do, and you're very knowledgeable. So it's like, why wouldn't I go through Pacific Funding, right? So, but yeah, it's just the harder, if you just say just work harder, figure out a way around it, or go through it and figure a process for it, the other person might not. You know what I mean? The other person might just throw up the flag and just say, hey, I'm done. So just keep going, and hopefully the other person stops. So that's how I conceptualize Hawaii, for sure. Or just business in general. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Appreciate it. Thanks, Joe.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for your time.